Hello, wonderful students. I'm glad you're here. I wanted to go ahead and talk to you guys about our live meeting that we did yesterday. This is going to be my first in case you missed it videos. So I'm going to start making videos that are going to describe the things that we did in our live meeting, just in case you missed it. And then you can watch this and sort of get the idea of what we did in our live meeting without actually being there. So today, as I'm filming this, it is January 20th. So you can see right here that it shows January 19th. So this video could be for people because the 18th was a Monday, was Martin Luther King Jr. Day. And so if you were a B student, you would have had your meeting on that day, but there wasn't school, so we didn't have a meeting. So this is a great chance for you to get that info. But we're going to talk about it again next week, so don't worry about it too much. Okay, so first thing we always talk about, or lately we've been talking about, are our live meeting rules. So just review these real quick. Make sure when you come into our meeting, mics are off, cameras are on. Don't be distracted in the camera, and chat is for school purposes only. Now, what were we actually going to discuss in the meeting? What did we actually cover? We covered basics of the recorder, right? So you all have received your recorder, hopefully. If you haven't received your recorder, talk to your teacher. They should have one for you from me. And we're going to talk about how do we start playing this thing. What specifics are we dealing with? We are talking about how to hold it, how to play it, the first note, and then reading music practice. So that's the basics. And I'm going to talk about all of those things in this video. Okay, so we're going to hop over here to our presentation. First thing I want to talk about, I'm going to resize myself a little bit here, just so you can see the screen better. So we're going to start having a little, a fun portion of music time is going to be called Recorder Corner. And Recorder Corner is going to be coming very soon to your music time videos, and it is going to discuss the basics and the things that we're learning in our with our recorders in music class, okay? And so this is a fun introduction I made. I thought I would just share it with you. This is going to be the introductions when we start actually having Recorder Corner in your music time episodes. This is the introduction that it will have. So here it is. I don't know if you can hear it. I can hear it. Okay, that's just a fun little video. Hopefully you could hear it. If not, you'll catch it when we start doing it for Recorder Corner. Okay, so here we go. First thing we're going to do is talk about how to hold the recorder. Here's a wonderful little image of someone from like probably the 1960s, long time ago, holding their recorder, and they're holding it super great. I like this picture. It's a fun picture. So let's talk about how we hold it. First thing we want to make sure is we have two hands, right? So one hand has to be on top and one hand is on the bottom. So we want to make sure that our left hand is on top. Now in the picture that you see in the corner, it looks like my right hand. It'll be to your right, but we mirror things when we're facing each other. This is my left hand on top. Okay, so you're going to hold it with your left hand on top, and your right hand is going to be on the bottom. Eventually, we're going to start putting our fingers on these holes or not on the holes, depending on how we're doing it. But right now, just remember, left hand is on top, right hand is on the bottom as we hold it. Your left thumb is going to be touching the covering or near this hole. It's called the thumb hole. So you could, if you're covering that hole, you're going to have your thumb over it. If you're not covering the hole, you could have your thumb beside it or above it or below it, somewhere around there. So, and then your right hand could be pinching up here, right index finger pinching up here, and then your left hand could be sort of holding it on the bottom, right? Right now, you'll see I'm not actually covering up any holes. You can cover it up. I mean, you can hold it without covering up any holes with both hands. Okay. When we're talking about playing but not actually playing, one of the things we do is we do what's called chin playing. And with chin playing, we take our mouthpiece, which you see right here as this nice curved section, and we place our chin right in that curved section like this. So the mouthpiece is really near our mouth, but we're not actually playing. We're not blowing on it right now. And we could actually practice our playing like this without actually making any sound. It's called chin playing. So were we together in class and we were playing this but not actually playing, we're practicing without making any sound, this would be your chin playing, okay? So I'm sure your parents might appreciate it if you do some chin playing, because sometimes parents don't like it when you play too much because it can hurt their ears if you're not doing it quietly, softly, and respectfully. Okay, another thing is you look at her picture and she is looking so tall. She's standing up so straight. I like to consider it stand up from the waist up. Now, stand up from the waist up means we're not leaning back in our chair. We're not relaxing. We're not all like, no, we're sitting up. It's like from the waist up, we're standing straight, okay? And another thing is when we're playing, your chin is going to be down. It kind of helps with the chin playing. You don't want your chin sticking out in any way. No, your chin is down, okay? While we're playing our recorder. Okay, this is how you hold it. Okay. Next up, we're talking about how do we play our recorder. So when we start to actually put the mouthpiece into our mouth, this is how we do it. First thing you do is you place this little curved part right on top of your lower lip, not on your teeth, on your lip. So you see here, it's just right there. I don't know. One of the things I think about is like if I was at a restaurant and using a straw, and you're like, I don't know. I was a kid. I would like have the straw in my mouth, but not really drinking it. That's kind of how you want to do it. It's going to be here on the bottom of your lip. Okay. And then when you're actually going to start playing, you just bring your top lip down on it. We're not using any teeth whatsoever. Just like that. It's just resting on my top lip, my bottom lip, not my teeth. My tongue is back. My tongue isn't touching it at all. Want to breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth. That was me doing it wrong. You don't breathe in through your mouth. Breathe in through your nose. When you're playing, you want to have your breathing be consistent, right? We don't want it to sound like your breath is going up and down like this. You can breathe faster or slower. We want to breathe the same speed. We want a steady, consistent breath exhaling that is the same speed, okay? Now, if we want to play more notes, we want to play more notes in a row, you're going to do what's called tonguing. And when we do tonguing, with your tongue, you tap the top of your mouth. You don't tap your teeth. You don't tap the mouthpiece with your tongue. You just tap the top of your mouth like you're saying the word ta, ta. Isn't that when we do our clapping and our rhythms, don't we go ta, ta, ti, ti, ta? Well, ta is what we're going to do with our tongue in our mouth. I'm just going. When I do that, I'm just tapping basically the top of my mouth with my tongue. You'll notice I'm not chewing. I'm not moving my jaw. I'm not doing that. I'm not doing that. My jaw is stationary. It's just my tongue moving. Okay? These are things you can practice yourself as we're going through this. Obviously, you can pause and practice and all that stuff. Next thing we're going to talk about is this. In your basics area, your recorder basics area of Google Classroom, this is one of the images. This is called a fingering chart. And this fingering chart helps us understand what notes are the buttons that we push. Like, how do we figure out what note is what? And this is how you read it. You can see that there's a picture of your recorder. There's 7 buttons coming down the front of your recorder. And then there's this one button off to the side, which represents your thumb button, which is on the back that you can't see from the front. So that's what the side button means. If the circle is filled in black, that means your finger is covering it. If it's open, if it's white and it's just a white circle with them in the middle, that means your finger is not covering it, right? So if we look here at this B right here, it shows that the thumb is being covered and the top hole is being covered, like you're pinching it. I'm covering up this hole with my thumb, and I'm covering up this hole with my index finger with my left hand, and that's B. So you could all hold up your recorder right now and show me your B, okay? And then nothing else is being covered. I'm sort of resting it with my thumb here on the bottom with my right hand, and that is B. And you'd be like, well, how do you know if you're supposed to play B? Well, you're going to look down here right underneath this picture, and you see this note. This is the middle line of the treble clef staff. It's the third line if you count from the bottom. 1, 2, 3, third line from the bottom, that's B. That's the first note we're learning is B, okay? So it could look like this, right? It's just a note right here, B. You see this note is filled in black, solid black. It has a stem coming up. That is a B. There's more than one way to write, to do a B. Here's the other one. And this is a whole note B. So this is a quarter note B up top, whole note B. This one, it doesn't have a stem and it's open in the middle. That's just another way that you can show a B. They're both Bs. They have the same fingering. The reason they look different picture-wise is because they're different lengths. The top one is kind of a short note. The bottom one is kind of a long note. But you'll see they have the same position on the staff. They're still in the middle. They're still on the third line. They're still a B, and they have the same fingering, even though the picture is a little bit different. Okay? So, let's see. I'll put myself up here. This is another image that you have in your basics, Recorder Basics area of your Google Classroom. You have different notes that you can read. There's lots of music in there that I put in there that we're going to start going over during our live meets or during these, in case you missed it, videos. Here's like, how do we know how long to play a note for, right? We have whole notes, which we saw before. They're 4 beats. So you would play it for 1, 2, 3, 4 counts. Whereas a half note, you would count it for 2. You would play it for 2 counts. 1, 2. For a quarter note, you'd play it for 1 count. 1, right? There are rests, which are times where you're not playing. You're specifically, purposefully not playing during the rest. And so you would count silently those beats. So this is something we're just going to talk about more in the future. Not getting into it too much right now, but just know that this material is there if you want to use it as you're starting to practice playing. And then in there as well, we have a couple of songs. Right now we have 2 different levels of playing. We have the white belt and the yellow belt. As you advance and you progress, if you want to start learning more belts, more advanced belts, I can get those up there as well. We're treating it sort of like karate. White belt is basic. We're just learning 1 note, which is B. This is one of our B songs. In the folder, you'll find this music. This is just part of it. You'll find this music. And you'll find a recording to play along with. So you press play on the recording, you pull up this music, and you play along with it on your computer. We talked a little bit in the live meeting on how to start reading this music. If this looks complicated to you, it kind of can be. But we're going to get into it more in future weeks. How do you actually start playing music with this? It's kind of like reading a paragraph or reading a page on in a book. If you don't have the practice, if you don't know what you're looking for, then it can be difficult. But don't worry about it, because we're going to talk about it all in these live meetings. So that's going to be it for us today. We've learned our B, we've learned how to hold it, we've learned how to play it, and we're going to start learning how to play songs while reading music, okay? So remember, our live meets are Mondays and Tuesdays at 1:40. Monday if you're a Group B person, Tuesday if you're a Group A person. And we're going to start doing more recorder stuff in our live meetings. If this interests you at all, if you're like, wow, I want to have some more playing of recorders, make sure you come to those meetings and bring your recorder. If you can't make it to the meetings or you forget, you can always come back to our In Case You Missed It video and you can see what happened in our live meet. Okay, thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a wonderful week, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye.